What is going on, everybody? Luke here. In today's video, I'm actually going to do something quite fun. I'm obviously not going to record the whole thing, but I'm going to actually play Minecraft, and I tried it yesterday for like 45 minutes. I have no idea what to do. I've never played it before, apart from maybe 10 minutes with my niece or something. And the reason I'm going to do that is because obviously I bought a Critterz. Remember I posted the other day, I bought a Critterz. And I also own some land because I bought some land before. And so what you can go ahead and do, obviously I bought this critter and I staked it. So I had to pay a little bit of gas, like $20 something, $28, $25 to stake it. And it then means I can access the game. Well, you can access the game without a critter, but you can't access the game and generate blocks. So when you actually play the game, you get rewarded with blocks. And you can then go ahead and, in theory, trade them and sell them. Or you can go ahead and actually buy land. So this is the land within Critterz game, and if you zoom in, you can kind of see now they're into blocks. Yeah, and I've got 2 blocks. One's I basically just bought 2 random plots. It's really annoying to find. There you go. You can see it's like this green little rectangle. That's actually mine and owned, and it was. If you zoom in, it will actually give me details. So that's mine, and I can go ahead and claim these when I get 1,512 blocks. But obviously you want to know, what does that even mean? Well, I played this game for like 45 minutes yesterday and I got 103 blocks. Okay, I guess it takes a bit of time to update then. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and find out how much I can actually make within an hour, and it may be that. So this was 85 yesterday, so it might be that I need to make sure that I let it adjust to update properly. But I got this. So in theory, you can play 10 hours and go ahead and claim a free piece of land, and then that appears on OpenSea, and you can go ahead and sell it. And I've seen these as high as 0.3, all the way from between like 0.1, 0.3, around now 0.1ish, and you can see all the red ones are owned. What the blue ones are available to buy on OpenSea, and then all these kind of like greeny ones are claimable or buyable. And you can see, like, I'm up here. This might sound silly, but I'm up here. I'm like, oh, I'd like to get these, all of these, because what happens when you play the game, you can't build or take anything or steal anything or mine anything when it's owned by someone. So if you go into these areas, you can't do much. You can look around and stuff like that, but you can't actually interact, mine things and all that kind of thing. So just as an experiment, it would be good to see, one, what is the value of that in dollars by playing, and also, also interesting to buy some of these up so that, in theory, you could even just do some arbitrage by potentially looking at where this guy's buying all these, yeah? So you could go ahead and buy the ones around him. That kind of, he might want this one. He might want this one because he's trying to get to this coast, for example. Why is he kind of doing that? This guy here has got these 4. He's got that one. So you might go ahead and buy that one, yeah? So you could kind of play it like that if you wanted. For me, I'm just going to keep it really simple. Never really play Minecraft. It'd be a bit of fun just to muck around and see what happens and see how many blocks I generate. And I'll probably have to release this slightly after, maybe tomorrow, which would be the Friday the 4th of February, just to see what's going on. And yeah, a bit of fun. And at the end of the video, I'll crunch the numbers a bit, see what's happening, see how much I generated. So, if we look here, I've got 103. So let's just say it's like, well, let me just take a screenshot of that so that I can, that is definitely not the screenshot button. Okay, we will not bother with that right now. It's called snippet if you really want to know what it is on a a desktop. So I'm just going to take a screenshot so that I can accurately basically calculate what's going down with that for later. So I'm going to go ahead and basically play the game. All you got to do is stake your critter. Pretty easy. You've got to know what the server is up here. And I didn't even really look into it too much. I went into the game. I think if you go multiplayer, proceed, yeah, so Minecraft server, join with stake Critterz. So I literally added server. In that address, I just whacked in the mc.critters.xyz z. Oh, not me say z, but I think it's online. A lot of Americans say z. Paste it in there, go, and pretty much it just populates this. You can go ahead and click that and it would join you to the game. Then you've got to verify you've got a critter and you can go ahead and play. And yeah, so any of these that are unclaimed, you can go ahead and mine and muck around in. Anything that's owned by you, only yourself can do that. You can only build and do stuff by yourself. Again, these anyone can go into and muck around and build, mine things. But anyone that enters here cannot do anything, only myself. Again, if I go into anyone else's, the same applies. I can't do anything, only they can. And so like it'd just be interesting to maybe get that one or whatever, and just see how easy it is or how hard it is, how much time it might take me. Obviously the price is here per plot, and it does change. And there's lots of plots available. If you actually zoom right out, it's a massive map, if you see here. And I've got another plot somewhere down here. I've got no idea where the hell that thing is. That's the thing, look at all these plots. It should kind of do it, but it doesn't. It just takes me to this main plot. I think that's the starting point. But again, I'm not going to muck around too much. I believe it's over here somewhere. Yeah, we won't muck around too much longer because this is getting a bit annoying. But yeah, it's really cool just to muck around. As I said a couple of times, got some cool little punks that people have built, mucked around in. But you can see like a lot of people are actually active on this because you can see all these like makeshift properties. Here. Some of them are spawn points, so they're going to have stuff on. But this is something I'm really interested in more long term because there's hundreds of millions of active users on Minecraft. And this is a very easy way just to add some sort of play to earn function over the top of it. And what they're going to be doing with the Critterz is, yes, these might be a little bit expensive for the average person, but they're going to release like generation 2s, 3s, 4s. Generation 2 will come out sometime, which is going to have a cheaper entry point for people that want to basically play the game and earn and own, have some sort of ownership. But the rewards won't be the same as they are for the Genesis Critterz. So that's how they're going to dilute down. And a lot of games, play their own games, are adopting that same thing. A lot of them have like cloning functions where you can clone and then sell them, but the value of those clones are going to be like generation 2, and they're not going to be as powerful, and they're not going to have as much value and all that kind of thing. And so that's kind of like where it's going to stem from. Obviously, it starts where it starts. And the block price actually is this, and that's where I'm going to calculate the value. Again, this is more like a longer term speculative thing. Gaming. You can see at one point, it's not really been around for a huge amount of time. If we look at the dates, this is 12 hours, so annoying that you can't do more than that, but we will deal with it. It's at $1.37. That's normally what happens. Like it starts off at something crazy. And again, like people were gaming the system back here, trying to get loads of blocks and just selling them. So like that happens when the game is new, and they have to basically see what is working and what isn't working, and then adjust the game and the reward process over the long term, tweaking it so that it's balanced. And that happens. It's that's what you get with like a new asset class or a new project that needs to basically have people playing to figure out what's good, what's bad, and then adjust things with updates through the game. And all I'm going to do is just jump into the game for a bit. So I went and played the game for an hour, mucked about. I was really terrible, but it doesn't matter. Ultimately, you can earn blocks by actually just playing, and it doesn't matter what happens. And it is actually done so that you can't game the system. So they've changed stuff over time so that it's more balanced as well, which is good. So you can go ahead and obviously see I've got a state critter, and if you actually read, it says if you have multiple critters, you can generate more blocks using the Minecraft in game time, which would be interesting. There is graphs and details about that in like the white paper to show you how much more you would earn. And actually you can also rent them out, and so this is something I will actually look at. Maybe do a follow-up video. I'll potentially try to rent one out so that I can then see if someone then plays the game, I'll get 1/3 of their block rewards as well. So if I have 2, I can go in and obviously earn more. But that's say that I'm not really going to play the game much, because ultimately I'm probably not, compared to someone that might want to play it 5 hours a day, for example, or 4 hours. If they're going to rent one, they're probably going to want to utilize that time. They only have 7 days, as you can see down here, of rented, and it's a pretty low amount of cost. It's like $30 a week to rent one, $28 a week. Then I have to pay some gas, fine. So maybe 90, but for me, I'll get $28, $30 a week. And it has been up as much as 100. It just depends on the rewards. The price of blocks basically obviously depends. If they're going to make X amount of blocks, is it worth them doing it? So that's going to drive the price of the renting. And so right now, I'm not worried about that kind of thing. It's irrelevant to me right now. I just want to see what's going on as of right now, as of this point, as of the 4th of the 2nd, 2022. And I believe this is going to be quite like a big game moving forward. You know, they only have, the server's only 500 users big at any one time, which is tiny compared to, you know, what it will scale to. That's the game you're getting in. You know, obviously a lot of these things are new or newer, and they still have lots of, you know, within a couple of years, the amount of things that they'll have is going to be completely different to what they're going to have now. So anyway, let's just carry on what we're doing. So I went and claimed my blocks. I haven't claimed them because it would cost me gas. So what I'll do is I'll just build this up, so that I can just pay $60, $70 of gas. You know, let's actually see what the cost would be as of now, just for curiosity. Okay, $22. So it's not the initial, it's not the usual gas fee you would get if you were minting and stuff or doing a transaction. It's actually not that high. But again, I don't want to actually do that every time with small amounts of Ethereum blocks. I want to build that up and ultimately do something with that. And this will be used as in-game currency as well. But right now, it is not. Well, they're implementing that as of now, but it's not yet accessible to use those. So that's something to bear in mind as well. And it's like, you know, you can just build this up. You don't need to claim it right now. But there is a reason to claim this as of now. But I'll go into that in a sec. And so I worked out it's about 130 blocks for an hour's work. Okay, and that will vary. That will change over time, and that will change depending on lots of factors. But as of right now, this is for this video. That's what we're going to deal with. So what I then did is I went into the smart contract just by literally finding in here, and I went into this, and then I found this. Which is the kind of Etherscan details. And then I went into this, which is their block token. You can find it on like Dexes. This is just the way I found it quickly. And then we want to go and find the price. Okay. Now, you know, this has been crazily, this has been up like $1 and a bit. So you'd be making like 10 times what you're making now. But obviously that's not usually, if you're making $400 a day or something, that's not going to be sustainable. Like, you know, you might be able to get in early and sell like on the first day, just blitz the first day, but you know, you can see it got to $2.30, like $1,000 a day. I mean, come on, that's not going to work out. Doesn't mean it won't get, you know, it for the people getting in early, long term, you won't be getting a nice benefit from that because you're in the genesis and you're getting in early and you're building your blocks up. Maybe you're just holding those blocks, because when the in-game currency starts and all that, obviously there's going to be more transactions, which is going to drive the price, more interactions, more volume, blah blah. But right now we've got I got 130 blocks for that hour, and then all we're going to do is just times it by the price, 0.11522. That will do. So it comes out at $14.97, which is about $15 as of right now. So I can earn $15 by playing for an hour. Considering the price was up here, that would be $300 for an hour, which is just insane. Like, you know, you could have played cool on the first day, but it's pretty much it. Or first 12 hours actually. But that's still plenty. And actually, there's a good arbitrage opportunity there, because you could actually hire a VA for $3 an hour or whatever it is, and they could be earning you 15. You'd have to obviously make sure there was a way for them to access your account without them essentially being able to like send that critter to their wallet, for example, or cash out. So you would have to, you know, maybe you could set up something. There must be a way, or maybe you could rent it out to them. Like, you could rent it out to yourself on a different account, and then you could give them access to the staked critter, which means they can't steal it. And even though you get 1/3 of the block rewards and they get 2/3, that's actually yours as well. So you can just have 2 accounts with blocks. That could be a good way to do it. Obviously, you're going to have to pay a slight gas fee to do that transaction. But again, if you can work out that there's profit to be made, Doesn't mean that it's going to be profit forever. You know, you never know what's going to happen with things. But as of right now, it seems quite cool. And you know, I will play the game and muck around with it for a bit. So yeah, you can earn $15 an hour. So as of yesterday, if I could play 10 hours, you know, it's pretty easy. $150. So there's some money to be made, you know, in one day. You could get them to do 8 hours a day. So yeah, 8 hours times 15. They could be making $120 a day, times by 5, $600 a week, times by 4. They're making $2,400 a month. How much you pay a VA? Let's say you pay them $500. And you get $1,900. Even if it's 1,000, even if it's 500, basically any profit is free money because they could be playing it for you. So you know, and not only that, obviously blocks. Like you know, there's a good chance that in the long term the block value will go up with more interactions that are required with the blocks. Right now you can't do a huge amount with the blocks, but what you can do, as a side note, is you can go in and use those blocks. See here, plot price. So you can use the blocks to buy unclaimed plots. So a lot of these plots are bought, but not all of them are bought. So you can go in here. This is on OpenSea, and this you can see is owned. Yeah. So you can move around here. You can see this is claim. So that actually means that no one owns this, and you can go ahead and claim that, pay this much blocks for each, and that price does change. It goes up actually over time, so it gets more expensive. So like in the short term, I'm kind of using my blocks to actually buy land. So you can actually see here, I went in and I actually bought myself with Ethereum blocks, and I want to kind of own these. And the reason I want to do that is I want to have, and maybe I'll even try to get more that's connected. I want to have a set of land rather than one block, because I actually own one block over here somewhere. Probably can't find it, but it's basically mostly water. Yeah, it's like impossible to find. Is it over here? No idea. Anyway, there's one over here, but there's no land. It's literally saturated. I cannot. Is that the edge of the map? Don't need to really worry about it. There it is over here. Doesn't matter. There's no. It's like this. It's all red. It's all owned, and so like I kind of got one block, and it's decent size, but it's still not like crazy. And so like I was like, right, okay, let's start to accumulate the blocks I want, rather than having random blocks, because in the game you can't interact, you can't like attack things, destroy things, and all that kind of thing. If it's owned, you can only do it on your own land, or if it's unclaimed, you can interact with the land and dig and all that kind of thing. But for the long term, you know, obviously, oh, there it is. Can you see? And this is all, you know, I think this is OpenSea, yeah. You can have a look and see if people are selling it, but most of them are just like this. So you have to put a bid in, and with that, it's an unknown cost. Now the actual individual, if you're just getting started, you can pick this up for like 0.08. Yeah, pretty cheap, a couple $100. But I actually wanted just to get like a bit of a foundation. Look at this map; it's insanely huge. It's impossible to actually find like where. Yeah, there it is. You know, it'd be nice to get an actual segment so that, in theory, someone could buy all these off you. And you know, I mentioned it in the beginning of this that you could claim ones around others and kind of like get them to potentially at some point buy them off you. I've already had someone message me on Twitter saying, you know, can I buy your plot off you? And I'll bid 0.3, even though the floor is 3 times less, because they want to stack land next to their own. You can see this person here, this Felix guy, he owns a big old chunk here, and it's more about accumulating so that you're not just scattered around, because you know, if people want to play this, they don't want to have to be teleporting and jumping around the game. They want to have a nice user experience within the same area, while also being able to explore and all that kind of thing. So I'm actually going in and wanting to claim these. Probably look to claim these, maybe these, just so it's a lot more fun for the person, rather than just literally being sort of pushed into a corner where you've just got one. So, you know, yes, you can go and buy stuff on OpenSea cheaper, but I was looking to actually claim these. And once I've claimed, you know, whatever I can claim, because obviously this guy could claim these as well, then I will just look to probably rent out my Critterz and accumulate blocks for when the token is actually can be utilized within the game. So that's something that I'm going to be doing. So, you know, just looking at that, there's money to potentially be made into this, and you can like rent out your land as well if you want. But that means people can build on it, and if you don't care about that, crack on. Obviously, you'll get paid for that. Again, if you rent out your Critterz, you can get paid for that, and you can get paid in blocks. And then with those blocks, you could then buy more plots potentially. So that's something I'm going to be pursuing. I'd like to pick up another Critter so that I can have one for me and rent out one. Obviously depending on price and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's the follow-up to the video. So to me, it's just quite a cool thing. And if you actually look, there are plenty of blocks still unclaimed. All of these down here. Can you see all these? These are still to be claimed. So there's plenty around. So the price of land isn't going to specifically, or it's not going to initially go up a crazy amount unless you own lands that people want. Like they are specifically going to target the lands you own. But yeah, all of these, you could be strategic in buying these and go, oh, this person owns these. This looks like something's here. I have no idea what that would even be because I haven't played the game long enough. Town maybe. And you can start picking up others as well within, like you can pick up these 4 up later, more strategically, so that people could potentially place a bid. This guy here could at some point want to capture all these, and you can sell them for a premium. Obviously, if you're getting blocks for free from, say, staking or something, then crack on and start picking up segments of land. You can see this person here has picked up all these, and now they're on OpenSea. I don't know if he's actually selling them, but no. But you can see he's picked up all those, and so that's something I'm kind of looking at to do right now, rather than going on OpenSea and just picking up and buying with Ethereum random blocks. So the reason I actually initially did I went on Uniswap and swapped it over to blocks. It's just so that I could get a feel for how it actually worked. Yeah, this thing's annoying as hell, isn't it? And also, I thought, well, it's not hugely expensive. It's about probably like a 30% premium than buying it on secondary market, or 40%, but not huge overall. I think I picked up 2 for like $170, like 1 for $170. And we can just go ahead and actually have a quick look. Why not? Critterz plots. Cheap. So I picked up for 170. I think that's 170, and then I had to pay gas, so whatever that would be. Okay, not as bad as I thought, but not as bad as I thought actually. So yeah, but that's it. Obviously, it is still cheaper on here because you. Well, no, it's actually maybe not. Maybe I need to look into that more. Maybe I got confused. It looks like it's actually about the same price, or actually a little bit cheaper to get the blocks. Obviously, they've got all you got to be careful of the transaction fees, like Uniswap transaction fees, doing all the gas that you then have to do to actually get the land, and then you get like a staked land that's sent to you, which you can then rent. So that counts again as a transaction. So you got to be careful with those. 2 people like this. But yeah, they're going to leave the video there, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, it's just something nice and easy for the soul on a Friday, for something that isn't just about flipping. In theory, it is like there is a mindset behind potential flipping at some point, but it's also getting involved with projects that I see as a slightly longer term potential, and where the costs of these aren't particularly high. I don't have to, I'm not like, oh my god, all my money's tied up in these. I'm happy to leave these just to play out over time, because I know that there's plenty of land, so it's going to take a good while for all that to even be claimed and so on. Obviously build up some block tokens if I can. If it's passive, I'm just going to rent out 1 or 2. At some point I might rent out 2 because I don't want to play anymore. I can just get as many blocks as possible. I don't really care actually about the renting out. The cost, the income from the renting stakes Critterz, because you're actually getting 1/3 of their blocks, and if they're playing a good couple of hours, it's pennies. It's, what is that? Yeah, someone actually rented this out for 0, because they're probably looking just to. Obviously, you're gonna have to leave this on the marketplace and wait for it to be sold before any income. It's so you could potentially list that at 0, just because you're looking to get the blocks. I might even try something like that. And then you're able to get more and more blocks faster, because you don't have to wait for it to actually sell. And this isn't really selling, it's like it literally is a 7-day sale. And you can go on to here, and then you can basically go in and revoke, you can't see it now, but you can revoke access, and then you can go ahead and crack on again. But that's something I will do, and I can do a follow-up video for that. But until next time, I'll leave it there and see you on the next one.